Good morning, buenos días a todos. Welcome to Cafecito con ACE. I hope everyone is staying well and learning from each other. My name is Roger Casilla. I'm one of the partnership engagement manager here at ACE, and I will be your host today. So make sure you got your cafecito or your beverage choice of morning, your choice of beverage in the morning on hand. Welcome to Cafecito con ACE. The ACE Hispanic Alliance for Career Enhancement is a national profit organization established in 1982, whose mission since 1982 has been to provide the tools, insights, and access to all members to support them in their careers. One of the things we take pride in touching is touching the lives of our members in every level in their career, starting all the way from high school to executive level with the development program. If this is your first time to Cafecito, welcome back. If this is your regular tune in on Wednesday morning, welcome. If you're a male, we have a couple announcements as well too before we get to this great conversation that we're gonna have today. We were able to have a quick kind of on the back end, and I'm looking forward to this conversation that we will have today. But we got a few announcements for y'all that we're having some events having here at ASE. If you're a male or identify as a male and looking to elevate your leadership development, please be sure to apply for Hombre de ASE leadership program that's happening this year, 2023. And it's the first cohort that we're having. So 0 to 5 years of experience, please be sure to apply. We'll be having that linked in the chat. Also, make sure to join us our virtual career fair tomorrow at 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Central Time. We have a lot of great partners with great opportunities. So if you're looking to shift or change a job opportunity, this is your opportunity to make sure you register and upload your resume for that event. Two more events: Chicago Oxport. So anyone in the Chicago land, the Chicago Oxport will have a mental health webinar next Thursday, May 25th. So make sure to also register for that. We'll be adding the chat. Another event, we're going to have the mental health awareness event, which is include a yoga session in Chicago on May 25th also as well. So that's going to be under the Chicago Oxport next week. So make sure you guys are in tune and staying in tune with us and everything we're doing here. But were you guys really here for the conversation of Cafecito? Today, I have the pleasure of introducing our guest speaker. Paulam, hopefully I said her name, I've been asked her, Chang, is a multicultural professional with 17 years of operational management, strategic leadership experience in finance and technology. She is the director of Global Operation Control Center at Blackhawk Network. Inspires She's continually improving her skills and promoting inclusivity. As a model of her children, Paulam inspires diversity, positive impact. Her unique background, expertise, and commitment make her a valuable asset in the corporate world and community. Paulam, welcome. Paulam Chang, welcome. First question. We this is how we always start
Mhm.
with our guests. Welcome, first of all. First of all, how do you like your cafecito, or how do you prepare your coffee in the morning or morning beverage of choice?
Thank you, Roger, and thank you, Ase Familia, for having me. It is very nice to have a chance to come here and talk to you all. I like coffee. I like my coffee more latte, and I wish I could drink just a good black of coffee, but coffee make me drowsy, so it kind of relax me rather than keep me awake. So I usually, my husband will have coffee ready in the morning, and it is an ongoing jokes that he has. Whether he come and ask me, it's like, okay, I have your milk flavor ready. It's like, because for him is I drink milk with coffee, but I definitely like a good latte.
Yes, you can't go wrong with a good latte. And shout out to your husband. Morning work already, and I'm ready. I need to take notes, so I'm definitely gonna be taking notes here. Thank you so much for joining us, and also carving time out of your busy day to be a part of this conversation, but also share your experience with our audience today. The thing about
Absolutely.
Yeah, not a problem. The thing I like about the cafecito is that we got the opportunity to share one another and get to learn and encourage all and tuning in the network. So please feel free to engage in the chat. This is a interactive cafecito, an event, and get your questions ready for Palam. So first question: Can you? Oh, let me make sure I got the right questions here in front of me. Sorry. So the first question is I got for you, is how can you tell us about your culture and professional background, ethical heritage, race, identity, and how do you got to your career and where you're at today?
Absolutely. So I was born and raised in Venezuela. Both of my parents are Chinese, and they both met in Venezuela through a good, all arranged type of marriage type, right? That's how my parents met. I started my school on the public side. I attended public high school and public
Hmm.
university, the Universidad Central de Venezuela. That's where I got my degree in computer science. Computer science was not perhaps my first choice, right? My parents always kind of like engineering is where the money is, right? If you want to be successful, like be an engineer. And I
Right.
always more gravitated towards the science part of the house. I wanted to be a dentist. I wanted to study dentist and all that. But faith in life, it kind of walked me back to the computer science, because a friend in high school, she's like, can you please go with me to take this test? I don't want to go by myself. Are you willing to go with me? I'm like, sure. I have nothing to lose. I wasn't really getting into computer science, so I went with her.
Hmm.
But I passed the test, and now I have kind of like a choice, right? It's like, do I really want to go for computer science? Do I really want to go on the then, or even chemistry? I also have chemistry already ready to go, and I decided to challenge myself, right? Is computer science, it is in the science faculty, so there is science on that field. So then I
Hmm.
decided to start computer science on that. Fast forward, after college, I was lucky enough to join our newspaper. And at that time, keep in mind, this is around 1999, 98, where truly the online websites and everything around online commerce was a big boom, right? From the at least
Hmm.
in South America. So I joined the newspaper company. They were one of the first one to have an online version of the newspaper. And that is where I learned about operations, right? What it means to be mission critical. In our case, the newspaper has to be online at midnight, not a minute
Hmm.
later, not a minute earlier, at midnight. So that is where my experience in terms of what it means to have an incident, how you manage all that part, and what it means to be on call, what is your responsibility, and all that. And that went about until 2002, where you have also the dot-com bubble plop, and I
Hmm.
got the opportunity to go to Omaha, Nebraska. So my journey as an immigrant started in 2002, going to Omaha, Nebraska, to join a, a small computer retail company, but they were in a lot of places in Omaha, and they were looking to build their e-commerce sites. So that's how I got into the state as a software engineer, building their e-commerce. But just as a nature of everything, it's a small company, and your life as a developer, once you have the commerce side life, it
Hmm.
sort of also ended. And that is where I have my other challenge is, what am I going to do now, right? I can go back home, and it's perfectly fine, my friends, my family, because you always miss that part. You miss
Right.
home. And I started applying. I think I attended every single career fair in Omaha. I personally went to every single company, or at least tech company, to give my resume. And I have received tons of rejections emails. thank you, but not now. Thank you,
Hmm.
but we decided. It become a little bit of, heartbroken, and I was like a little bit depressed. I'm like, I know I'm good. I know I can bring. What is missing? And that is where I think you I dig very deep and kind of understand a little bit the culture. What am I facing? Because a lot of the feedbacks that I receive is your resume looks good, but all your experience has been outside the United States. How can I truly validate that you know what you say you know? Of course, your normal answer is ask me. Just ask me. Give me a chance. But chances are also very precious. Not everyone is willing to give you that chance. So I went all the way, and one of those career fair, a company, they were looking for customer service on the international side. They were looking for
Mm.
people that can either speak Spanish or Chinese. So I'm like, I think the universe is telling me something because I can speak both. I can speak English and I can speak Chinese on the Cantonese side. So I'm like, why not? It is customer service, is not what I was expecting myself to
Mm.
do after having a bachelor in computer science to go back and do customer service. But I also know and what I can bring, and that if just a company will even give me a chance to start, I can prove myself, right? I can carve that path for myself. And that's how I started. I started in customer service.
Mhm.
Um, Again, I think is when you're willing to hear the universe will always give you a chance. I got into customer service, but on their technical support part. So that's how I started. The company was evolving. They started using API. I had experience on coding, and that somehow brought me from Omaha to San Jose, California. And that
Mm.
also got me the opportunity. And I have to say that I have been very blessed during and with that company, I have been for 17 years. During that 17th year, I had a lot of great managers. I that they also were my sponsor as well, and I got to experience five different roles within that 17 year. I went from managing the technical support team to manage their integration team, where I will have integration engineer, sales engineer, all the way to be a product manager on the infrastructure side of the house. I got the opportunity to build my first organic product out there to for the implementation side, and then the pandemic hit. And talking about a pandemic, that is where also right before that I got the opportunity to meet Patricia. She presented the asset program in the company, and I was fully inspired by her story, how she came to become that person to represent asset, right? Um, and I got the opportunity to join the Women Leadership Program. It was the first one, I believe, that we did all virtual because we were on pandemic.
Mm.
It was awesome because we have people all over from the West Coast, from the East Coast, being able
Mhm.
to join the cohort, and that that experience really, I dig deep. I learned from the women's there, and it made me do another reflection. Am I on my part of a career where I am giving the best of myself to the company? And is the company helping me grow? And the answer was not quite. I think and that's normal, right? I think we should look that as a good sign that the relationship between me and the company, we reached to a point where I was not really providing value to the company, and I already exhausted all what the company has to offer me. And that is where I had another great women sponsor that she is at Blackhawk, Layla, and she reached out and it's like, "Hey, Paulam, I may have this opportunity. You seems to be a great fit. Would you be interested in joining the team?" And I say yes. It is a change that I was looking for, and so I joined Blackhawk in 2020, um, and to kind of pour everything that I have learned over the last 17 years with this company and
Mhm.
bring it everything to Blackhawk. And that's what I love is the operation side of the house. It is definitely stressful, right? You are a mission critical. You are ensuring that your entire ecosystem is up and running, but it also brings you a lot of learnings. Every day is a new challenge. And there's a say on the operation side is you never waste a good P1 incident. There's
Mhm.
tons of learnings there, and it helps you grow at a very accelerated pace because
Mhm.
you have to always be on top. And yes, so 3 years later, I'm still enjoying my journey and Black Hawk, bringing everything that I have learned, paying forward from all those great leadership that I get to work on my previous company. And yes, I enjoy definitely developing people. I love to see growth in people. I love to find those raw talents inside the company and be able to kind of like polish them and for them to become the next shining star.
No, I love that, Palam, and your story. And just be mindful. You gave a lot of good gems, and I appreciate from your growing up with your family, but also challenging yourself, and also most importantly, providing yourself to others to be able to share your resource and tools and what you learn. Very similar to what you mentioned with Patricia, and you're now doing the same thing with this cafecito, allowing them, all the women and mujeres out there, that they can do it. You can also reflection. Some key points that you hit. Persistency. Don't give up, which you see a lot in our culture. Also, self-reflection, something we usually don't do as much in our culture, just because we fall back to what's foundation and what we're used to. And so, those are really key points that you mentioned: the self-reflection and understanding. Am I giving value where I'm at, and is that where I'm at giving value back to me? And those are key questions that you should stay should everyone should take from this as well too. And please feel free to add on the chat as well too. I have, with the being mindful of our time, I have one more question to ask you, Palam, if you don't mind.
Of course.
How do you believe companies can create a positive workplace experience for the AAPI community?
And I think that's a great question and a very important one. But as I learned from my experience, I have seen others being very successful at that. Is first, you have to embrace yourself. That is very important. You have to believe in yourself. You have to embrace every flaw that you believe that is a flaw, starting from your accent, right? You may not sound like a native speaker, but you have to believe and embrace who you are. And I think a lot of company, and from previous cafecitos, we have a lot of diversity and inclusions directors, right? Every company is understand that diversity brings strength for your organization. And I heard from a lot of these DNI leaders, that is what they want to bring, right? They want to be able to pay forward. So I think that is the most important part, and for all of us, that we have the the special privilege to be people managers, to develop people, I will say let's keep that in mind as well, right? Let's recognize what could be bias on our end and then use that in our favor, right? Let's build ourselves together. But most important, I will say, is always embrace who you are. Believe in yourself. Let that inner voice speak up, and I can truly tell you that magic will happen.
Yes, thank you so much, and I appreciate you. I had other questions, but you answer all the questions under that one answer. And as she's mentioned, as problem, I think what adds color to this life is each and our individualism that we have. And when you show up as yourself, you're adding color to the world. And so, thank you so much, Paulam, with this time being with us. Make sure you guys connect with Paulam on LinkedIn and continue the conversation. If you have any question as well too on the AAPI community, or any best practice you would like, please feel free to reach out to us. Again, we're an organization where we believe in allyship and believe that cultivating the workplace to create a better place. Thank you so much, Paulam. Any
Thank
last minute remarks before we let you go?
I will say connect with me on LinkedIn if you would love to chat. As I love seeing change in people, that's my passion. That seeing everyone grow. And one things that I learned from one of my leaders at a previous company is find out what is that hidden talents that you don't know that you have on yourself.
Mm,
That's how I was able to really, and I saw some question on the chat about building your brand. Sometimes having someone to talk to bounce those ideas, you can find that brand and be consistent, right? I think, as Roger mentioned, when you bring yourself, your true colors, that's your brand. You will be building that part and lead by example. Be consistent, be genuine. Your brand will show up, and most of the time, people will recognize that brand even before you recognize that on yourself.
yes,
And when people goes to you to a specific either an advice on certain topic, you will start seeing that trend. People will gravitate toward you for the same thing. And when you see that, that is your brand.
that's right. Thank you so much, Paulam. Thank you for being part of the Cafecito, and we'll definitely stay connected. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Hasta luego.
Bye.